My name is Lisa Sherman Luna, and I'm the Executive Director at the Tennessee Immigrant and Refugee Rights Coalition. I am so excited to be here with you today as a member of the Mayor's Community Advisory Committee on Transit. When the mayor's office asked me to serve on this committee, I immediately recalled my family's own move to Nashville from Guatemala when I was 17 years old. A local church pulled together the funds to buy my family a high-mileage minivan to get to and from work and to take my sisters and I to school, which, being 17, I promptly wrecked that minivan, damaging the side doors and forcing us to piece it together with duct tape. We had to climb in and out of the passenger side to get into the car. It wasn't the safest option to get around, but like so many immigrant families and so many families in Nashville, we were forced to make tough choices in order to put food on the table, to get an education, and to truly make Nashville our home. Mayor O'Connell's Choose How You Move plan will open up doors and opportunities for immigrant families who are making these tough choices every day. Hundreds of thousands of immigrants have chosen to call Nashville home, from families who have deep roots in our community to those who've arrived more recently, like Afghan parolees, Venezuelan asylum seekers, or Ukrainian refugees. But no matter who we are or how we got here, we all deserve the ability to safely and efficiently walk, drive, or ride to new jobs. Our children's schools, community centers like this one, medical appointments, and the many cultural offerings of our city. For immigrant families, transit is a lifeline, but it's bigger than one family, and it's bigger than immigrant communities. Creating accessible, convenient ways to get around our city is key to our shared prosperity. More than 140 languages are spoken in Metro Nashville public schools, and close to 13% of the city's population is foreign-born. It's clear that Nashville can't thrive if immigrant families can't thrive. They're huge contributors to not only our economy, but our rich cultural tapestry, and we deserve transit options that help us more deeply embed in the fabric of our communities. Whether native or newcomer, whether we have a driver's license or not, whether middle or working class, we all want to live in a city with thriving neighborhoods and a bright future. And thanks to the Choose How You Move plan, we have the opportunity to come together and cast our ballots for a plan that connects our communities, provides us safe ways to get where we need to go, and builds a city where everyone has the freedom to thrive. Thank you so much. And next up, I'd love to invite longtime community member, resident of North Nashville, Van Pinnock.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to serve on the Mayor's Community Advisory Committee, and it's been an honor to do so and meet some other people along the way. So when I was asked to talk about my transportation journey, I thought, well, I don't know if I have one. And then I reflected, and I actually had two stories that I could leave you with today. The first one I would call a story of victory. Back in the mid-'80s, I worked downtown at 505 Dedrick Street, the TPAC building. I worked on the 18th floor for the state of Tennessee. At the time, I lived in Bellevue, and for the first few weeks of my job, I would drive downtown, try to find some place to park, and then, of course, reverse it at the end of the day. But then I met a couple of my neighbors who told me about a bus that ran downtown. They worked downtown, and they said, well, you know, we don't do that. We ride the bus. I said, all right. So I began riding the bus. And it was one of the best experiences that I had because not only was it convenient and I never had to use my car again, I became part of a transit family. And we got to know each other. We talked about the various things and concerns that we had. We knew when someone wasn't there. And it was a really unique experience and one that really enjoyed for about 2.5 years. So it was the best work commute experience that I've had so far, other than working at home, which it doesn't require a commute. Now, so there is I wouldn't call it a tragedy, but I would call it a challenge that relates to my second story. So fast forward to 2006, we moved to College Hill. College Hill is a neighborhood adjacent to Tennessee State on the south side of the campus. And at the time, WeGo operated a bus that rode down Albion and on to 39th. And when I rode the bus, I could get off at 35th and Albion, walk about a quarter of a mile up to my house, and everything was good. So, and for those of you that know my wife and my daughters that I'm about to refer to, please, just whatever I say out here, let it stay. If you don't mind. So, anyway, I've been trying to get them to ride the bus with me since we moved to College Hill. And they have been very artful in the reasons why they won't do it. So I'm going to give you some of them. And again, let them stay here, please. So one says, well, Dad, it might rain. Okay. Well, if Leland says it's a 90% chance of it not raining, I don't know about that one. I don't think the bus goes where I'm going. So, well, maybe I should take you so I can see where you're going if the bus is not going that way. And this one I love. Well, I've ridden the bus before. Before what? And then this one, you know where this one came from. Well, honey, if you will drive me to the bus stop and then pick me up after work, I'll do it. And I said, well, do you think Steve Bland's going to send the bus back the other way so I don't have to come to work to pick you up? So anyway, my family has given me a hard time about riding the bus, but I think underneath it, what they're saying is that it's not quite as accessible as I would like it to be, and it doesn't run when I think it ought to run. So I can't fix that, but I'm counting on the mayor to come up with something that's going to help my family. Thank you so much.
Good morning. I'm so grateful to be here. This is the day. Thank you to Mayor Freddie O'Connell for being here and being the leader we need on this issue. We all know that your passion and commitment to keeping the city moving is genuine and runs deep. This morning, I want to start with this story about opportunity, or pretty much the lack of opportunity. Full disclosure, I was born and raised here in the southern corner of Cheatham County in a place called Pegram. Grew up off of a dirt road. We were miles away from asphalt, much less a school, a library, a store, a doctor's office. You get the picture. The distance between our house and literally anywhere else was vast. And right there at that young age, I saw how the access to mobility directly affected the access to opportunity. The stress of missed practices, the weight of skipped social gatherings, the sheer loss of personal growth opportunities. Now, I know that I'm not alone in this story because it's not just my story. It's far too common for us here in Middle Tennessee. No one should be limited by the circumstances of their birth or restricted due to their zip code. Because when potential remains untapped, dreams remain deferred. In my TEDx talk, I say individual freedoms are directly tied to mobility, because transit is about more than reaching a destination. It's about unlocking the potential and possibilities. It's autonomy. It's equitable access to opportunity. It is freedom. Over the past 7 years, I have been with the Transit Alliance, which is an organization dedicated and on a mission to build support for funding regional multimodal transportation with dedicated funding. And I can tell you that the future is Nashville is riding on transit, and the future of transit begins with funding. Thank you. Of the top 50 cities in the United States, Nashville is one of only 4 without dedicated funding for transit. And what that means for everyday Nashvillians is that our transit services are constantly in direct competition with other city programs like public safety, public education, and healthcare services. So when Nashville secures a dedicated funding mechanism for transit, we will be better positioned to compete for significant federal funds that support expanding transit services and improving our mobility infrastructure. As a board member of WeGo, I am so happy and proud to share with you that over the past few years, WeGo has built not 1, but 2 new transit centers or mobility hubs. WeGo is increasing their service hours, improving frequency, and even delivering a better overall rider experience. But as a transit advocate, I can tell you it isn't enough. We need to do more for WeGo and for the community. Thank you, Walter. Dedicated funding can do this. It can bring more transit options to more people. For instance, the Dr. Ernest Rip Patton Jr. North Nashville Transit Center, which is almost complete, will bring access to over 100,000 jobs within a 45-minute bus ride to folks who live in that community. And the proposed or projected return on investment is an astounding 8-to-1. So this means that investing in transit is investing in the community. We are here today to learn more about Choose How You Move, because this thing might actually happen. And Choose How You Move is a transportation improvement program that outlines a path forward on transit and mobility options that build upon what we already have, while setting a solid foundation for our smarter, safer, more service-oriented future transportation for those of us who live, work, and play in Nashville. At the bottom line, Choose How You Move is about us. It's about meeting the needs of today while setting and planning for our future. It's about unlocking our potential and possibilities. And I want to leave you here with an idea before I step away that growth without transit is growth without a plan. And the future of Nashville is riding on transit. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce the next transportation story from Ethan Link. He is an executive board member for the Laborers International Union of North America, which is one of the fastest growing unions of construction workers in the country.
Good morning. My name is Ethan Link, and I'm representing 20,000 hardworking families that make up the Central Labor Council of Nashville and Middle Tennessee, every one of them with their own transit story. For working people, safe, reliable, and affordable transit isn't just a matter of dollars and cents. It's not just a matter of modes and routes. It's about dignity. It's about the dignity of not having to stand in the ditch and wait. It's about the dignity, thank you. It's about the dignity of not walking in the mud, worried that you're going to be late, dodging vehicles just to get to the bus stop. Working families deserve better. And Nashville, this November, we can do better. Many of our members, they depend on public transit, and many more would ride it if it was accessible to them. And that's more than commuting to work. That's getting groceries, that's going to doctor's appointments, that's going to church, synagogues, and mosques. That's going just being part of the bright culture that we have here in this city. Everyone deserves that. Everyone deserves to have access to that and a plan that offers that to all of their neighbors. This plan, Mayor O'Connell's plan, it's based in working people's experiences. But yes, it's also a pocketbook issue. As home prices have soared and rent continues to ratchet up, many of the people that build and serve our city are being pushed to the corners of the county and beyond. According to AAA, it costs the average Nashvilleian $12,000 to own and maintain a vehicle. And if you are like many service employees or construction workers and you work downtown or in midtown, add the ever-rising cost of parking. We know that's not affordable for working families. The fact is that it's expensive to be working class. And an out-of-date transit system holds people back even further from achieving the promise of joining the middle class in our booming economy. Only an everyone-in, dedicated revenue system, as Mayor O'Connell has proposed, will offer the level of mobility we need without competing for services and resources with other city services that we count on. The Federal Department of Transportation also reports that Tennesseans who take public transit today spend an extra 67% in commute time. And that's just a statistic we have to change. For those of us who drive, that would be unacceptable. But for many working people, it's a reality, and it's a tax. It's a tax on their time with their family. And when you're working two jobs or you're working the night shift, you know that that time with your family is more precious and priceless than ever. Mayor O'Connell's Choose How You Move plan works for working people. It invests in the corridors that we already use, safe sidewalks in our neighborhoods, and reliable service that will open opportunities to Nashvilleians trying to thrive, not just survive. And that includes the students here at nearby Nashville State Community College Southeast, where many are investing in themselves and learning a new trade and new skills. It's time for us to step up and invest in them. And that's why I'm proud to stand with working families in support of Mayor O'Connell's vision for transit equity this November. Thank you. I'm also proud to introduce the president of Nashville State, Dr. Shauna Jackson, who will be introducing the mayor. Thank you.
Well, good morning. As president of Nashville's Community College, I can attest that transportation is a real barrier to access and completion of post-secondary education for many. For those not aware, Nashville State has 4 campuses in Davidson County, one of which, the Southeast Campus, is just a short walk from here. However, many of our high-demand, high-wage programs are only offered at a specific location. For example, our health science programs are only available at our White Bridge campus. So not only is it difficult for a student in Antioch without a car to get to the Southeast campus by transit, if they want to be a nurse, they must navigate getting to White Bridge Road to complete their program. These factors are often a decision point that, frankly, keeps potential students from enrolling or becomes such a barrier that students withdraw before completing their degree. Every semester, our College Foundation provides bus passes for students to use transit at no cost. But the time it takes to get to and from a campus, especially for students who are working and/or parents, becomes too much to bear. And this is not just a Nashville State Community College issue. There was a study done through the Chamber by the Tennessee College Access and Success Network called Point of Departure that studied commuter students attending area colleges like mine, Tennessee State, and others. They found what would be a 9-minute trip by car from Maplewood High School to our North Davidson campus in Madison would take 43 minutes and require 2 transfers by bus. And WeGo was simply inaccessible for students at Overton and Wykes Creek to get to any of our colleges. They also found that the lower the student's income, the more reliant they were on public transit to achieve post-secondary success. Now, why is this important? Because I believe education remains one of the strongest ladders to economic mobility. And the opportunity to improve how we move in Nashville can lead to increased post-secondary attendance and completion for the individuals that need it the most. Therefore, I am grateful that as a city, we are moving from having important conversations about this critical issue towards action. And I am thankful that Nashville State's North Davidson Campus Director, Dr. Kimberly Malone-Haddix, has been serving as a member of the Community Advisory Committee. It is now my honor to introduce the 10th mayor of Metro Nashville and Davidson County, the Honorable Freddie O'Connor, who is here today to announce the details of his transportation improvement program, Choose How You Move, and all access paths to sidewalks, signals, service, and safety. Please join me in welcoming Mayor O'Connell.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. On a day like today, there are 2 pairs of words that matter most. The first is thank you. I'll get to the other pair later. So thank you, first and foremost, Dr. Jackson, for the introduction. And thank you to our speakers today for sharing how transportation has impacted your lives and the lives of your communities. I have had the chance to hear about a lot of transportation experiences from Nashvillians now for decades, including like Van's experience as a transit user from so many people on the bus, and sometimes just walking around in a neighborhood that has sidewalks. And both of these are experiences that more Nashvillians deserve. So today, we hope to start creating many more such stories that are positive. I do want to take a minute up front to recognize that none of this is possible without a significant degree of public leadership. I want to thank Vice Mayor Angie Henderson, who, not only has she served on our technical advisory committee and been constantly providing input and helping guide this program, she and I rode the bus together on the 55 Murfreesboro to get to this event this morning, and she regularly rides and advocates for people's freedom of movement in this city. And joining her from the Metro Council, I know I've seen Councilmember Quinn Evans-Siegel, Brenda Gadd, Jacob Coupin, Robert Nash, David Benton, Clay Capp, Sandra Sepulveda, John Rutherford, Joy Stiles, and thank you for hosting us here in Southeast, Jason Spain, Terry Vo, Mike Cortez, Tasha Ellis, and Deontay Harrell. And then I also want to recognize Clerk Lonell Matthews, Juvenile Court Clerk, Register of Deeds Karen Johnson, School Board Member Cheryl Mays, and State Representative John Ray Clemens. Any other elected officials, will you all please stand so people can understand? And then I want to give thanks to Facilities Manager Thomas Floyd and the Metro Park staff here at Southeast Community Center for welcoming us. And I really could spend the next 20 minutes just thanking people, but Up front, I want to also invite some thanks for the many people in the mayor's office and metro departments and the partners who helped put this program together. Can you all help me thank them, please? Now, we've been having important conversations since taking office and really during the campaign as well with Nashvillians about financial empowerment, about cost of living, about quality of life, about what kind of city we want to be and how we make life a little easier for people trying to stay here. Being able to get where we're going safely, easily, and cheaply is important. It ties back to how we value people and whether or not they're going to be able to stay. This isn't a new conversation. We've been talking about this for more than 10 years. While we've been adding 98 residents per day in the region, while rent and housing have increased by more than 50% in terms of cost, and as you heard, while people are being moved to the margins of the geography of Nashville, while our commutes are getting longer and longer, recently ranked worst in the country in a report in Forbes. And during those 10 years, we've heard from thousands of Nashvillians who shared more than 66,000 points of input. We developed 70 plans dedicated to improving transportation in neighborhoods in Middle Tennessee, and we've reviewed all of them to help us get to this moment. So it's not a new conversation, but it is a new opportunity. It is an opportunity to move after being stuck for so long. It is an opportunity to invest in ourselves and the people who make our city go, an opportunity to invest in options for how we move around the city conveniently and safely, however we like. Whether we want to walk to a park, commute by bike, take transit to a Preds game, or whether we want to drive and be stuck at fewer red lights because the traffic signals themselves got smarter and know where the traffic is and how to move it. It's our choice, it's our move, and in response to feedback we've received in every Metro Council district, today we are pleased and excited to release the details of a comprehensive transportation improvement program for your consideration. Pending Metro Council approval, it'll be on the ballot for us to vote on November 5th. We've got the best opportunity we've ever had to make Nashville more affordable for more people by cutting unproductive time lost in traffic, by making public transit options more accessible, and by making our streets safer. We're calling the Metro activities supporting this program Choose How You Move, an all-access pass to sidewalks, signals, service, and safety in Nashville. Details of the program along with interactive maps and timetables are on our nashville.gov website at nashville.gov/transit. These are practical and tested improvements that will make an immediate impact if we get this passed, and they touch every part of the city and the lives of everyone you've heard speak today and the communities and people they represent. I'm going to run through some of the highlights here. Let's talk about the first S, sidewalks. We're adding or upgrading 86 linear miles of sidewalk, which is about the same distance from Nashville to Cookeville. 1 out of every 3 Nashville residents will have direct access, walkable access to a transit stop. We'll have a 50% increase in walkable neighborhoods. This program is how we will complete our strategic plan for sidewalks and bikeways' entire priority sidewalk network. This is a big deal. Let's talk about signals. We've never had the chance to modernize our traffic signal system at this scale before. Modern systems are using technology to learn traffic patterns and manage demand in real time. By upgrading nearly 600 traffic signals, we'll all experience more green lights. By putting 36% of the upgraded signals in areas where a high number of traffic deaths and serious injuries are occurring, we can improve safety for all of us, including those of us just trying to cross the street. Smart signals make it better for drivers. They also communicate with transit vehicles in an upgraded fleet to keep them evenly spaced and moving quickly, moving people efficiently and effectively. The signals will tie in to a new traffic management center operated by the Nashville Department of Transportation opening later this year. At that center, NDOT can see where traffic is heaviest and adjust our system in real time to keep Nashville moving. We will all benefit from the Choose How You Move program, whether anybody takes the bus or not. But when we do take the bus, we'll make riding it easier, more reliable, safer, more frequent, and an all-hours option, a good fit for a 24/7 workforce in a growing city. So let's talk about service. We're going to establish 54 miles of all-access corridors where everything is improved. Better sidewalks, signals, safety, and service. The entire route on these corridors is designed to move people faster and safer, with transit vehicles arriving reliably every 15 minutes for better around-the-clock service. We'll make these improvements on 10 of Nashville's most heavily used roadways, where we currently see 80% of Nashville's transit ridership, like Murfreesboro Pike, Gallatin Pike, Nolensville Pike, Dickerson Road, West End, Charlotte Pike, and Bordeaux and Clarksville Pike. Where it makes sense, we'll consider transit-only lanes designed with local neighborhoods in mind. You'll travel the length of Murfreesboro Pike 12 minutes faster than you can today, and you'll also have improved safety for users along the way. We're going to build 12 modern transit centers at key locations throughout the city, giving us the choice to travel directly from neighborhood to neighborhood without having to route through downtown. You can already see an example in North Nashville. Yeah, that's worth some applause. And think about the change this means. Right now, WeGo Central, where I caught the 55, has been joined a couple of years ago by the Community Transit Center at Hillsborough High School. But North Nashville this spring, we started new crosstown routes in anticipation of the opening of the Dr. Ernest Rip Patton Jr. Transit Center. When it opens in a few weeks, it might just change your thinking about what bus stations look like and what they can do. It's going to incorporate community art with local artists, and the footprint around it is already seeing improvements in economic development, which study after study shows when we offer complete streets and complete transit networks, the local business environment improves. We're going to build 17 park and ride facilities located near high-capacity transit routes so that more Nashvillians can access transit even if they don't live near a bus route. We're going to double the hours of our high-frequency daily service and increase total bus service by almost 80%. We're going to add more express service and prepare for regional service when our neighboring counties are ready to act. We're also expanding WeGo Star commuter rail service for some midday travel and special events, and the WeGo Access paratransit program to 24/7 availability. We'll offer extended service for the local routes. Yep. People of all ages and abilities should be able to access this city. That's exactly what we're working on. We will also offer extended service hours for local routes serving Nashville's prime entertainment district, and we'll expand WeGo Link, an innovative partnership with Uber for more curb-to-curb service for riders, again, in areas of the county where bus routes, bus stops, or frequent transit may not be nearby. Through that direct access to transit centers and bus stop improvements, we're investing in communities that have borne disproportionate burdens associated with our city's growth. Add those investments to other service enhancements, like connecting people earning a low income to unlimited rides on WeGo Transit, and this is how we bring the cost of living down quickly for residents. And finally, let's talk about safety. We're going to redesign 25 Vision Zero intersections to reduce the risk of injury because 59% of our fatal and serious injuries occur on only 6% of our roads. We're going to build out 39 miles of complete street projects along this high injury network, supporting my executive order from January. Those complete streets will also make significant improvements to our bikeways network, adding 35 miles of new or upgraded bicycle facilities. We are expanding mobility options and safety at the same time. And we're going to improve safety for people using transit, whether they're on a vehicle, at a transit center, or at a bus stop. We're going to upgrade 285 bus stops to improve lighting, weather cover, and real-time location tracking. Everyone should know that they're safe when using this system and accessing the city. Put it all together, and this is how we catch up on our transportation to-do list in a big way. It's how we make our existing funding go further. It's how we scale up to make transformational improvements happen faster. This program is designed to make a year-one impact, including WeGo service enhancements, safety and lighting improvements, initial sidewalk development, and the introduction of traffic and signal improvements. Within 2 years, we'll have substantial bus service improvements, such as expanded hours and frequency, continued sidewalk and signal installations, and the development of the first complete street project. Within 5 years, we'll have more than 150 signals upgraded and modernized, along with that improved traffic management center to support the changes. The first all-access corridors will begin high-frequency service between West End, Charlotte Pike, and downtown, accessing Elizabeth Duff Transit Center and the south of Broadway opportunity. Within 10 years, we'll have 60 miles of new and upgraded sidewalks built above and beyond NDOT's regular sidewalk program. More all-access corridors will begin high-frequency service. At 15 years, we'll have upgraded nearly 600 traffic signals. We'll have secured 76 miles of the Vision Zero high-injury network with safety improvements, and we'll have completed all 86 miles of new sidewalk. And we'll have implemented high-capacity transit on 10 of Nashville's busiest corridors, with Dickerson Pike and Nolensville Pike improvements coming online. These are not shiny objects. This is our potential future. These are sensible steps that will make a difference in our commutes and in our pocketbook. And speaking of the pocketbook, let's talk about the funding. It's obvious we want to know about the cost. We have some preliminary numbers. We know exactly the framework that the Bipartisan Improve Act requires us to put on the ballot, and we know we still have to get an independent audit and have this reviewed by the comptroller. The state legislature allows local governments to use surcharges to generate new revenues specifically for transit and transportation infrastructure. A sales tax surcharge of a half-cent would make Davidson County's sales tax rate equal to all but 2 of our neighboring counties. And even though you'll see a big number on the ballot, this means that for every $50 you spend, you'll be chipping in a quarter. For most Nashville households, that's about $70 a year or less. For comparison, as Ethan shared, the cost of owning and maintaining a car in Nashville right now is more than $1,000 a month, according to AAA. Nationally, most cities use sales tax as a part of funding transportation. Nashville is unique in a good way because about 60% of our sales tax is paid by people who live somewhere else. That means visitors to the city will pick up the biggest share of the costs of this new transportation improvement program. But the reason dedicated funding matters so much is that long-term predictability and reliability. Dedicated transportation funding means we have a much stronger ability to reclaim our own tax dollars. Federal dollars currently out of reach, as much as $1.4 billion of them that right now today are more likely to go to other cities across America. Dedicated funding can help bring more of Nashvillians' federal tax dollars right back here to Nashville. Now, so that's a big deal. I want to thank our speakers this morning for sharing their transit and transportation stories. I have a few myself. My start in public service was my appointment to the Nashville MTA Board of Directors. Access to transit and commuting by bike and living in a walkable neighborhood were the keys to my own pathway to home ownership. While on the Nashville MTA Board of Directors, I got to serve with and learn from the late Reverend Bill Barnes, the namesake of the Barnes Housing Trust Fund. Reverend Barnes immediately took me under his wing. I served on one of his committees, and I got to see his passion for ending poverty right at the intersection of housing and transit, which are most households' 2 largest expenses. For more than 5 years, Metro has prioritized investments in housing with access to transit. Federal housing funding prioritizes this access as well. Tens of thousands of households living in affordable housing will directly benefit from the transit improvements in the Choose How You Move program. Living close to transit allows households to save on the cost of transportation. Already today, Nashville households close to transit lines spend $200 less per year. So when we talk about building transit centers and park and ride facilities, we're not just talking about transportation infrastructure, we're talking about affordable housing too. Adjacent to select transit centers, the Choose How You Move program proposes to invest in acquiring as much as 26 acres of land that will be developed into community benefits, including housing and parks. So please, again, check out the maps, the overall program at nashville.gov/transit. And before I end, I want to talk about a concrete example of an improvement that will make a difference right where we are today. If we adopt this transportation improvement program, we'll see significant improvements in the 55 Murfreesboro route and be able to quickly add a community transit center here at the Global Mall site. This should improve, for those in Southeast, you know. This should improve not just community access to the rest of the city, but also city access to the airport. And the 55 Murfreesboro is already the most heavily ridden route in WeGo's system. We can move even more people more effectively and more efficiently if we pass this in November. And let's remember, we have a transit system. Try it if you haven't. Visit quicktickettn.com, learn more about the easy access that WeGo has offered to fares, and keep making suggestions for improvement. Today, we are releasing the public components of this program that we're recommending for passage on the ballot, but our Metro departments continue to be responsive. If you submit requests for Hub Nashville for sidewalk repair, new locations, we are still making improvements to our overall network. But recognize that you can ride the bus safely and easily today. And what we're trying to do is make it possible for more people to have that kind of opportunity. So I'd like to thank the Metro Council for its recommendations and review so far. We've met with 36 council members to talk in depth about the program. Our team is looking forward to a special called meeting with the Metro Council on Tuesday to dive further into the details and answer questions. And thanks also to the members of our two advisory committees, Technical Advisory Committee and Community Advisory Committee, and our How Nashville Moves Transition Committee that got us kicked off at the beginning of the term. Their number one recommendation was to create a dedicated funding source for transit in Nashville. We listened, and here we are today. And I want to say again, thank you to the three primary agencies who have been working hard to improve the transportation experience for residents, absent the funding that many peer cities enjoy. Despite that lack of dedicated funding, WeGo Public Transit, the Nashville Department of Transportation and Multimodal Infrastructure, and the Metro Nashville Planning Department are working hard for our residents every day. And thank you to our regional partners as well, because our growth impacts them too. And I have to say it by name, thank you to Michael Briggs in the mayor's office, who has spearheaded this effort. It's been a joy to collaborate with him after he joined us from Vanderbilt and has previous Metro experience, but he has helped steward this effort. You can see the fruits of that labor and many others over here on the other side of the room, and more to come at nashville.gov/transit. And you'll see many members of the mayor's office staff here as well, all of whom have contributed in some way, and big assists from our Metro Legal and Metro Finance departments, because we know this is a legal and financial undertaking under bipartisan state law. So thank you to them as well. And of course, thanks to the many Nashvillians who have shared their feedback and suggestions on better transportation over the past decade. Again, this is our best opportunity to build out sidewalks, to synchronize signals so you're spending less time at red lights, to connect neighborhoods via a better transit system that doesn't have to come downtown just to go somewhere else. This is about working families, letting people feel more connected as a community, and bringing down the cost of living so that we can more easily afford to live here. This is how we stop kicking the can down the road on a problem and start moving forward on a solution. Now, doing nothing is also an option. We've been doing that one for a while. It's not working well enough for enough Nashvillians. And most of us agree. According to Imagine Nashville, 3 out of every 4 Nashvillians strongly agree that investing in citywide public transportation is an important priority for our future. In the annual Vanderbilt poll, 84% supported our plan to put a transportation referendum on the ballot. So we hear you. We've done enough planning. It's time to start doing. Get the details at nashville.gov/transit. Look for us out in the community talking about the Choose How You Move program. It's your move, Nashville. And here are those other 2 words I mentioned at the very beginning. Let's go.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.